If you want to take your dog's obedience to the next level, watch this video. Hey, it's Jamie the dog trainer. Welcome to the channel. Today we're doing a video on pivoting. You'll hear this called rear end awareness. You hear it called perch work. It's some advanced obedience, and I hope you enjoy the video. So today we're working with my 8-month-old Shepherd Sage. She's going to show you guys how to pivot. I want to stress a few things about this video. It does take a long period of time, and this isn't going to happen overnight. Sage, the model in the video, has been working on this since she was 8 weeks old. She's now 8 months. So this is a long-term thing to develop advanced obedience. Don't get stressed or overwhelmed if your dog isn't picking this up overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. Keep working at it. There are a few things you'll need for this video. 1 is your dog. 2 is some treats and a treat bag. The last thing that you'll need is the most important thing, and that is a pivot box. You can use any type of box. You can also get a step from any hardware store. You can even turn a bowl upside down. It actually doesn't really matter as long as your dog can put 2 front feet up on top of a little platform. Today we're going to show you how to pivot in 5 easy steps. Step 1, we have to get your dog putting 2 front paws on the pivot box. This does mean that your dog has to be confident enough to go near the pivot box to start with. So with step 1, we're going to be able to get your puppy to put 2 front paws on the pivot box. First thing you're going to do is put the pivot box on the floor and start to just coax your puppy across. You can use a lure, you can put a few treats on top of the pivot box if your dog's really nervous about it. Sage has done this before, so she is going to put 2 front paws straight on. However, take your time, get your puppy used to it. So you can see here, I'll just gently lure her on. Once she's on, good girl, well done. You can also mark and reward. There's no need to really at the moment. Once she's off, you can try and get her back on again. I usually say box, yes, good job, and then you try again. Box, good, yes, good girl, yes. And you can mark a few times for her being on the box. Yes, good girl. Yes, good job. And we start again. Once you're reliably able to get your puppy on the pivot box, you want to basically try and see if they'll do that via a cue. So you can see after a while, box, yes, I'm marking a reward each time. Yes. Then when I say Sage, box, yes, she should jump on. Now that your dog is confident in putting 2 front paws on the pivot box, now we go to step 2. Step 2 entails developing rear end awareness for your dog. This means we're trying to get their back legs moving freely around the pivot box. Step 2 is about getting your puppy to turn on the pivot box. This is a bit of a tricky exercise because your dog is likely not going to have a great deal of rear end awareness. Puppies and dogs just don't understand that they've got back legs to move until they're taught. So what you want to do here is once you get your puppy on the box, you're going to rotate your puppy's head to the right, which means that their legs will turn left. And it's the same with each side. You turn your puppy's head or dog's head left, your back legs will go right. So it is basically like a boat. All we do is just mark and reward for each turn. Initially, you want to mark and reward the tiniest of movements. If your puppy moves a few millimeters, reward them straight away. Once they're on and they're going really fluent, it should look something like that, where your puppy's moving nice and fast, and we can do both sides and go from there. Once you've got your puppy moving nice and fluently on the box with a lure, you're ready to progress to step 3. Step 3 is about putting all this together. Now we get you involved and get your dog starting to fall into the heel position on the pivot box. The way we do this is by using good footwork and using what we learned in step 2. The way you're going to do this is you're going to have your feet flush next to the box. You're going to encourage your puppy to come on the box, and then you're going to rotate them into you. As soon as they do, yes, and then treat. What you'll do once you've got that is a quarter turn, and you're going to flick them again, straight right next to you, and you do another quarter turn, and you flick them again. Yes, and then treat, rewarding each time with a lure. So you're going to lure your puppy around, yes, and treat. Another quarter turn, feet flush against the box, yes, and treat. It is good to teach your puppy both ways, so both directions. Once you've got your dog doing this with a lure really fluently, you can start encouraging your dog to do this automatically without a lure. So the way you're going to do this is you'll turn, heel, yes, and then reward as soon as your dog moves with you. If your dog isn't moving with you, go back to the lure. So you'll go again, you'll turn, heel, yes, and then reward. Put a cue on it as well once your puppy is doing this reliably. So you'll notice I call it heel, heel, yes, and then reward. And then what can happen is your puppy should start to turn really fluently all the way around with each turn. And this is what we want your puppy doing. Nice, fluent, all the way around the box. So your puppy falls into heel. Yes. Once you have your puppy successfully pivoting around the box, nice and fluently, yes, time to bring your puppy off the box. Now that you and your dog is moving freely on the pivot box, now it's time to get off the pivot box. That's step 4. What I do in step 4 is I do a few different exercises to start to get your puppy off the box. The first one is getting your puppy to come into heel and then flicking back off heel. The way you do that, it's really simple. You'll have to use a lure to start with because your puppy will not quite be as fluent as they were off the box as they were on the box. The way we do this is I'll say, Sage, heel, get your puppy all the way into heel. Yes, and then throw a treat out for your puppy to go and get it, and then it gives you a chance to reset that heel position. So what you'll do is you'll go again, Sage, heel. She comes all the way in. We want her to come into heel. Yes, and then you're going to throw the treat again. And all you're doing here is getting your puppy to fly into heel, back out of heel. You can be as picky about the position as you like. You do want the puppy nice and flush in here. Yes, and right next to you there. You throw the treat back out, puppy comes back into heel again. And we keep doing this really until it's nice and fluent. So we can't expect, her to be able to do this during a normal heel while I'm walking if I can't do it stationary. Once you've got your dog flicking into heel position, we're going to put a bit of movement into it. The way we do this is by doing the quarter turns that we're doing on the box. Heel. Yes, once we get that position, we mark and reward, and then we do another quarter turn. Heel. Yes, good girl. And then we do another quarter turn. Sage, heel. Yes, good girl. And then we go again. Sage, heel. Each time asking her to heel. As soon as she falls in, yes, and then treat. Once you've got that going, we can start to get even more fluid with our movements. Step 5 is about practice, practice, practice. Now we start to get your dog always off the pivot box, moving around, freely heeling right next to you. What I typically do is I'll put a little bit of tape on the ground. I haven't got it here at the moment, but you can put a bit of tape on the ground, which makes sure that you're pivoting on the spot. What you don't want to do is do big arcing turns. You want to be really clear and turn on the spot. So your pivot would be on the spot like that, and you're back through. So you're coming back on the same path that you come in on. What we're going to do is you get your puppy, Sage, heel. You get your puppy into heel. And what you'll do is you'll take a few steps forward, heel. And then what you'll do is you'll turn. And you want your puppy to move with you. As soon as she does, yes, and then treat. And you just practice. So you practice walking on a line. You can, even a seam in the concrete, it doesn't really matter too much, but you want to make sure, hey, Sagey, that you're walking in a straight line and turning on the spot. Good. Sage, heel. You can tee your foot. We come through. Yes, and then treat. You want your puppy to be pivoting the whole way through. If you've got a large dog, just be aware that you want to slow down into the turn. The reason you want to slow down into the turn is because they're big. They have to be able to get their whole rear end around in time. If you go too fast, they're going to come in too slow. If you've got a little dog, you can be a little bit quicker. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. And if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. Hope you have a great day.